morning.
Family fun is back on there. Primetime Carnival and Joint Communications presents the Lanier Spring Carnival, April 2nd through the 7th. Rides, fun, food, games, more. Open nightly 6 p.m., 2 p.m. for weekend. Lanier Spring Carnival. 2nd through the 7th. Family fun for you and me. Be there.
I heard you recently discovered a new COVID variant.
A new COVID variant. Remember Omicron? This is called another con. Thank you so much.
Here's Saturday Night Live, April 20th at the Coastal Grill, formerly House at Roswell, featuring comedian Jim Gossett from the Rob Carson National Radio Show.
Jim Gossett, the finest conservative political savage in the country.
It's a fun-filled night of comedy, impressions, and brand new parody songs. Jolene documents and several places, St. Louis, that's Saturday, April 20th, 8 p.m. at the Coastal Grill in Roswell. For tickets or more information, visit newsmakerline.com or call 678-829-SHOW. That's 678-829-SHOW.
Hey, Donald here from Cowie the Force. Cowie the Force is Newman's own addiction recovery support service.
Good morning to everybody listening.
Recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowetaforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location. 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newnan. Same great taste, the best chicken around. Fish dinners, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's Wishbone Fried Chicken, right next door to the former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A.
Good morning.
You hear music to the lyrics speak to you on a deeper level. I'm Bruce Thornton. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, for our show Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope will leave you feeling inspired and enlightened. We know that our ideas may not always line up with yours, so this show will be an open discussion. Email us with ideas for songs at lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom together.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of the Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us.
Good morning. I'm adding my poll question. Sorry, guys. That's what's going on.
I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show. Every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern, you'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show.
Wow, won't let me finish that one.
WQEE 99.1 FM.
This is the Make a Difference Minute.
And the Mark White Show.
Marmac Real Estate has 8 offices throughout the state of Alabama. That includes Decatur, Hartselle, Coleman, Florence,
All right, here we go.
Muscle Shoals, Orange Beach, and Dauphin Island. There are more than 140 agents throughout.
Good morning. How you doing, my friend?
Agents by going to marmac.us.
I love some Nirvana. Yes.
On this Make a Difference Minute.
What's up, my brother Eddie?
Cooking with Brenda Gann and Andrew
I am a rocker. I appreciate that, brother. Yep. Nirvana, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, everything. All metal, rock, punk. It's all good.
I was in my early 20s, and that was before they limited the classroom size. I had 5 reading groups, if that tells you anything, second graders. And back then, you taught them everything. If they got it, you had to give it to them.
We're talking about the dark side of kids' TV today.
School thing, or a little cooking
Uh-oh.
demonstration, whatever, for our
That wasn't spelled
I
right.
said, look, y'all, I really don't have time. And I didn't. I did not have time. But one day I was in my kitchen. I was cooking for my family for Sunday lunch. I call it dinner and supper. But
Good morning to you. Good morning, CKS6 South 6. How you doing this morning?
And I'm going to make biscuits. And they're not going to see me, but they're going to watch my hand. And I'm going to show them out. And I did. And I put it on my little personal video page. It's my own little page. I had about 500.
It's True Crime Thursday.
And that thing went viral in 2 weeks. It was hit 1 million views. So now my show on Cooking with Brenda Gann on Facebook is right at 3 million. It's just a little bit shy of 3 million people. And so that's how it started. And it's just important for me for people to be able to cook from scratch.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get some things together. I appreciate you being with us. Good.
Be sure to follow The Mark White Show on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe to The Mark White Show podcast wherever you get your podcasts. This is Mark White encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
I tell you what, you know what time it is? It's that time once again. What's up? It is TGIT, Thursday True Crime, kicking it off, and we are here with you. It's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm your host of the most, Ryan O'Neal, and of course, 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. Tell me I'm the game. All over the RyanORadio media page. We're across iHeartRadio, 25 other different apps and more. We're also across the Earth Rock Radio in New Mexico. It's on the Navajo Nation. 25 radio stations, internet, and real radio mixed together. We're across, of course, hold on, New Mexico, Arizona, and we're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada. And right here at the flagship station in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, the talk of Atlanta, 99.1 FM, WQEE the Key, home of Southern sports, inspirational talk, and headline news. And to my haters, well, Triple H has got this to say to you. I am the man around here, whether they like it or not, straight edge, independent, skeptic. When I'm telling lies, you can't because you can't handle the truth. What's up, the YTP guy? How you doing this morning? CKS6 South 6 is with us this morning. Eddie's with us. I think he's from Italy. Eddie from Italy. That's cool. And tell me more, brother. Tell me more. All right, it is True Crime Thursday. We're kicking this off. Like, subscribe, and share on our YouTube page. We're on there as well. We got 3 hours of nonstop fun, sports, entertainment, news. And, of course, I'm going to give you the news without diving too deep into it. The only thing we're going to get into, our hot topic today, is Quiet on the Set. I told you I was going to watch this series. We talked about the Bray Wyatt story yesterday. Jesus, sorry about that, friend. No devil here. I'm for Jesus. Now, I'm not going to tell you a bunch of imaginary conspiracy theories like so many people on the internet do to get likes and subscribes and clickbaiters. We don't do clickbaiters stuff. NC USA here for CK. I knew it. North Carolina. Some more intelligent people there. My Southern folks. Yes, Jesus, you at YouTube. That for the good Lord. Sorry about that. Jake is in the house from New Zealand. I don't want him not to say I didn't see him. What's up, brother? How you doing? Everybody on here, like, subscribe, and share. We talked about Bray Wyatt becoming immortal yesterday. Our hot topic today is going to be about the dark side of television, kids television, the Nickelodeons in the late 90s going into the early 2000s. Wow. I'm going to tell you some sick stuff. Of course, with my friend Randy Rocket Cody from themetalden.com, who gives all this information from originally being from Hollywood, saying some of this stuff is what it is. Hey, we're exposing a lot of stuff. We were the first ones to bring you all the Epstein's list, the real one, not the imaginary one where I don't like so-and-so, they're on the list, but the real one with the ones that's really on there. So before it was released. So there you go. We're going to talk about this. It's kind of sad. It's True Crime Thursday. We got a lot of true crime news, a little bit of sports for you. AEW review from last night. I think they were trying to, hit big because of last night's going this week with WrestleMania week. Tomorrow is WrestleMania Friday. As we head into WrestleMania weekend, we'll talk about the Hall of Fame. We'll talk about What? Oh, well, we always got to have one in here that wants to start something. But then when they'll start figuring out they're pretty cool and we like them. They're like, okay, I'm going to stay with this. Oh, dear. Unless they just, I've got to have a conspiracy theory, a fake conspiracy theory, not a real one. I tried to tell my friend Randy, I was like, you put the Sam Kinison murder conspiracy out there. I said, it's really not a murder conspiracy. I said, you're giving news. I said, you don't want to get mixed in with the clickbaiters. He laughed. No, sir. It's WQEE is the name of the radio station. No, buddy. QEE is the name of the radio station. 99.1 QEE, the key, home of Southern sports and inspirational talk. But no problem, brother. You see, that's how you handle it. Everybody else out there is like, let's get into an argument. This is how come we build our channel up. Is for everybody. All of our friends on here that's coming on here. They ask a question, we answer it, we get it going. Yeah. All these other people are jabronis, guys. You know that, right? Anyway, back to it. We're going to talk about several things this morning. WrestleMania is tomorrow, getting ready for the weekend and everything. At YouTube, thank you for your questions. Anyway, Ed, they are trying to manipulate the youth with propaganda. Yeah, Eddie. You know what? That's what we're going to get going. What's up, BK on the air? BK on the air. BK on the air. BK on the air. I had to do that. He's probably Barry's like, what the heck? I come up with a theme song for you, brother. I just had to. Good morning, Rhino. No argument here. There you go. We got BK on the air. He is the man that knows everything from movies to radio shows, everything from all the way back to Elder Statesman original movies, from the original It's a Wonderful Life and what went on behind the scenes, to new movies, to radio shows and everything. It's called BK on the Air. You guys go like, subscribe, and share and follow him. He does a great show every Saturday morning. Used to be part of the station here at WQEE, and one day he will be back when I'm 100% over everything, and that will happen. But we got a lot of stuff in store for you. Which 2024 true crime documentary will be the first you check out? Dollar's Cult has got 0%. That's about a religious man, that another Mormon that went a little too far, and he ended up killing family members. And he had a lot of kids by different people. That's what had happened. Everything, that's how some of these cults are. But he ended up being kind of a mobster way. I watched it. It was good. The truth about Jim Jones getting 44%. Casey Anthony's parents speak out. There's a documentary on her, 44% of you. And the program is called Con, Cults, and Kidnapping. I couldn't put the and in there because it wouldn't let me do that. 11% of that gets the vote. But it's True Crime Thursday. We're doing true crime news for you. Stay on with us. We appreciate everybody being with us. We got a lot of true crime headline news for you. We'll give you headline news that you can go to our WQEE Facebook page and read for yourself, because I don't want to tell you how to think. That's the difference in me and other programs that do this kind of stuff. Of course, just to let you guys know, I got great guests next week. Yeah. We were going to have Sally Toole. She'll be with us on Wednesday. Coming up on Monday, Coach Tommy Lewis returns. I want to give you the complete rundown. And Barry, you're going to like somebody next Friday. He's going to be on the show with me too. Monday, Coach Tommy Lewis from the Landmark Christian War Eagles. We'll talk about week 2 of UFL football and get ready for spring football over there. Also, Tuesday morning, Shane B and me are going to talk about Shane B and me. I know that's not proper, but it sounds cool. Shane B and me. I'm just using it because it sounds cool. Don't get my English teachers come get me. Come on, guys. Shane B and me are going to be doing movie reviews in the final period. Top 10 movies, what's hot, what's not, and we're going to preview Civil War, which he and I both think is going to be a good movie and not a prequel to what's really going to happen. Also, hopefully the return of our friend, sports analyst, Richard Holdridge on Tuesday in the second period. Wednesday, Sally Toole will join us. She'll be with us on Wednesday because she's unable to be with us today. And she and I are going to talk about, we're going to travel the state of Georgia and Alabama and Florida and Tennessee. And she's the travel expert, author, and more. Family Feud champion. She joins us on Wednesday. we travel on Weird Wednesday with her. We'll get weird and travel. And on Thursday, True Crime Thursday, Elizabeth Sarles, the author of The Birthday Bash, will join us for another unsolved homicide in small town USA. And next Friday, I think I got 2 guests. No, in the 8 o'clock hour, Jim Gossett, comedian extraordinaire. He is going to be with us on the show talking about his April 20th show. And we're promoting that to you. If you guys want to get some tickets to see Jim, make sure you contact his Facebook page, or maybe we can get something to give away here at the station for you. That's on April 20th. Jim will join us next Friday as well. So there you go. Zach, what's up, brother? How you doing this morning? Hope you're doing good as well. All right, let's see. It's 24 minutes past the hour. We are at 46 degrees. What's going on in Georgia? We got bipolar weather again. Some of you got worse weather than us. I'm not going to complain too much. We'll get up and go, hey, it's cold this morning. This somebody, then Cher over in Iowa will go, you know, I woke up this morning. We were supposed to have a little rain, but it ended up being snow. Be like, okay, you win. You win with the weather. All right, 46 degrees here in the metro Atlanta area of Newnan and Atlanta. We are holding at about 24 minutes past the hour. Time and temperature brought to you by this hour. Active Pest Control, summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Mike on the group can exterminate and let us smack down for you. All right, let's take a look at your traffic brought to you by Killersworth Realty. Yeah, BK, Jim's going to be on the show next Friday. Yeah. Tell everybody. Go on tickets to see him. I'll tell you where it's going to be. Here we go. You definitely don't have to do it alone if you need a home. No, don't go in that direction. You need the perfect home. You can never be alone, because Todd and Amy at Killersworth Realty can get you that perfect place. And all you got to do is see them face to face. I'm putting a little John Cena stuff this morning. It's WrestleMania week. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But then again, my sponsors be like, Ryan, I kind of liked what you did there. Can you remember to do that? Like, dadgummit. Let me write that down. All right, traffic this morning. Newton County crash blocking the lane. I-20 exit 88 causing a slow lane there, ladies and gentlemen. And wow, what is this? And Free Home, a crash at I-20 near Ball ground area. Highway 372 in all directions shut down. Buford Highway in Doryville, guys. Sometimes there's a lot of crash there. The southbound lane, I-285, things going on there as well in the right lane. Travel advisory in Marietta. Crash clear at I-75 southbound near exit 263. And, ladies and gentlemen, Cobb County's got a couple of things. An injury crash there. East-West connector and Hicks Road. Those lanes are shut down for another few minutes. That's travel advisories going on. Face-to-face and eye-to-eye. There you go. Heading into Newnan. Nothing major. I-85 looking good coming off there. Bullsboro picking up a tad bit. Nothing on Lower Fayetteville Road or Popular Road. Temple looking good in front of the radio station in downtown Newnan. Jackson Street picking up a little bit, nothing major. Heading towards LaGrange Street. High school is out for spring break this week, so no travel there, no buses. Head on down Greenville Street, continue to go to work. Interstate 85 southbound into Hogansville and Grantville, or Grantville first and then Hogansville, both looking good, nothing major there. Head on down to LaGrange. It's picking up a tad bit on New Franklin Road and Commerce Avenue, also Moody Bridge Road. They're picking up a tad bit and heading into downtown LaGrange. Heading towards continuing into West Point, Georgia. Get off in West Point, take a right. It's all looking good there, ladies and gentlemen. All looking fantastic there. Construction going on, but you still can get off left. Take a left, get yourself some gassed up at that wonderful gas station, Love's Gas Station. And then you can go in and get you a biscuit at Hardee's. And then as you're all guessed ready, head on down interstate. It's going to take a little further to get into Valley, Alabama, because exit 79 is shut down for construction for the next couple of months. You're going to have to go to exit 77 right there in Valley, the what they used to know as the King Ford exit. Continue to move on down into Casita, all looking good in Alabama. Auburn, Opelika, no traffic except for in downtown Auburn. School is not really much in session there. Spring break going on. It's all good in Auburn, War Eagle, and headed into Montgomery. It's big time traffic. No problems, Eddie. I have no problems with that, brother. You're all good. We're all good here. We appreciate you from Italy tuning in. We appreciate you, my friend. Don't worry about mispronouncing or anything. We have no worries on that. We don't make fun of people. Well, we do make fun of people, but it's in joking form. We don't make fun of people for English and everything. All right, let's see. Wow, it's time for us to take a break. I didn't even have time to do any kind of news whatsoever. That's all right. I want to do introduction with all the friends out there on the Facebook. All right, as we get ready to head into the break, you guys are going to put you in the penalty box for safekeeping. Man, you just got a question. I just got a question to understand better the point of view of this channel. Are you pro or against COVID vax? That's a hot topic about propaganda in Italy. It was terrible. I can't go to work. An apology for my English, don't have a degree. No, you're fine. I am not. I'm for, in America, we had choices. People chose whether they want to take the vaccination or not. And I knew people that were on both sides, friends and family on both sides. And I don't tell people what to do. If it was easier for someone to get it if they had to get it to go back to work and they didn't want to, then they did do it to go back to work. If they didn't have to and their boss didn't require them, they didn't do it. Some people did it because they felt safer because they had, how you would say, they were adapt to disease harder and it would have really hurt them. If they wouldn't have took it, it really would have, because most of those people were wearing masks anyway for the flu before all this happened. So hot topic. Yeah, it was a hot topic here in the United States for a while, but people in the United States were just like, they got over it. Because they're like, well, you talk to your doctor and your doctor told you what to do is what they did. So I'm not pro or against it. I'm that person's choice. And I'm not going to tell you what to do or how to do it. And I'm not going to tell you whether or not I did or not, because it's my personal medical issue between me and my doctor, in the same way between you and your doctor. So there, hopefully that answers your question, my brother. Back in a moment. No problem, Eddie. I'm in the media. I'm supposed to be for presenting news and for people to present news to them to make their own decisions. I do have opinions, but it's on things that we all probably going to sit down and talk about and be able to agree. But and that right there, if you're against it, I'm not against you for being against it. If you're for it, I'm not against you for being for it. I have no, I don't judge anybody. Zach says, I got a fever for a month. Ooh, wow. So when you took the vaccination, you got a fever from it. A lot of times you will, same way when the first time you ever took my understanding, the first time when you ever take a flu vaccination, you're going to still get the flu virus or victim, and you're going to be sick like that. So if there was probably is a first time shot for something that your body's not used to, and I can see that happening, Zach. I can. Good morning. I'll tell everybody good morning on the Navajo Nation from you, Pete. How you doing, brother? Oh, I hope Zach's all right now. But he said he took it in 2021, which hopefully, there's, and a fever, Eddie, is like sickness. You get sick, you get your head like when you get sick and you get a cold, and you're running a high temperature. So he was probably running a high temperature and everything at the time. And I understand that he's like, hey, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't do it again. Well, like a common cold temperature, like when you get really hot and sweaty and you get a common cold and you're out for a day and you have to eat soup and stuff, Eddie, kind of like that. That's what a fever is. We call it a fever. Some people call it a fever. Some people got different words for it across the United States. Flu is a little bit worse than a regular cold.
Are available. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. WarriorDefenders.com.
Family fun is back in Lanier. Primetime Carnival and Joint Communications present the Penitentiary Carnival, April 2nd through the 7th. Rides, fun, food.
Eddie, what you gonna find out about this radio station? In Atlanta, we're for everybody. So we're everybody's radio station. I'm trying to take it back to the old school of presenting news and stuff. Jim was just funny. Good. He's fine now, Eddie. Now, Eddie, are you guys still down from that in Italy?
Saturday, April 20th, 8 p.m. at the Coastal Grill in Roswell. For tickets or more information, visit newsmakerline.com or call 678.
I said, are you guys still down there in Italy from the COVID, still not working and everything? Because in America, we went back 6 months later in some parts of the United States. We're like, we're going back. America, we just like, look, I'll see you. I'll be there to work on Monday. Actually, I was here the whole time, but okay, good. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. What's up, sports nuts, inmates, and more? Like, subscribe, and share on the YouTube page. It's WrestleMania week, and tomorrow we're going to be talking a little WrestleMania that's going to be going on in Philadelphia, the home of ECW. Paul Heyman is one of the many that are being put in the Hall of Fame tomorrow night, and I think that's going to be part. It's going to be part of the SmackDown crowd is going to get to see it. You're going to see SmackDown on Fox, and then I think go over to Peacock and watch at 10 p.m. the Hall of Fame take you up to midnight. So, all right, welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into all that tomorrow morning. Don't worry, we'll get into all that tomorrow morning. I've got a lot of things to talk about with wrestling, and it's going to be a fun weekend. We'll get into that this weekend. Plus, I'll give you a little review from last night's AEW today. Rampage, not Rampage. What is it called? Dynamite. That's right. All right, let's take a look at some of the stuff here with a little bit of news for you. Tens of thousands of Israelites in central Jerusalem on Sunday in the largest city of an anti-government protest since the country started the war in October with Hamas. Protesters urged the government to reach a ceasefire agreement and to free dozens of hostages held in Gaza by Hamas militants. And also they want to have early elections so that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is voted out. Hamas has killed 12,000 people so far since October 7th and 250 hostages. And they are protesting. There's a lot of protesting. Dynamite, that's right. Andrew Planos, my lovely bride, is woohoo! So World-centered Kitchen calls for an independent probe in a deadly Israel airstrike that we told you about yesterday. The strike occurred Monday, hitting, actually we told you Tuesday, hitting the World-centered Kitchen vehicle that about 7 employees were killed at this in a small central Gaza. The deceased have been identified as U.S. Canadian Jacob Flackner, 33, Australian Lala Francom, 43, Polish nationalist Damian Sabol, 35, and people from Britain, John Chaplin, 57, James Henderson, 33, James Kirby, 47, and the 7th victim was a 25-year-old from Gaza. Wow. Israel has said is launching an investigation into a strike. The World Center Kitchen on Thursday's called for a third party to probe this. They were just trying to get food out there to him, and things happen. It's kind of an unusual situation, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep you abreast of what's going on with that. Stay tuned and everything. Other headline news for you this morning. Other headline news this morning. Self-proclaimed sovereign citizen Taylor James John Takis got 87 months for a January 6th riot. Also, Jack Smith has ordered in the former president's documents case based on flawed premise, he says. And those are a couple of news stories you guys can read for yourself. All right, we'll have some true crime news coming up for you in just a few. 20 minutes away from the top of the hour. You're tuned in to RyanORadio Penitentiary. Your home of Southern Sports Inspirational Talk and More is 99.1 FM. Worldwide, everywhere. I'm going to repeat all that at the top of the hour, but no worries. No worries. Oh, Lord. All right, let's see. What other headline news we want to get into this morning? I don't know. What can we get into? We'll talk a little bit more about true crime this morning. I watched the series. We already watched the one about Bray Wyatt and becoming immortal. We talked about that yesterday, the documentary on him. Last evening, I watched a 4-part series on the dark side of kids' television, Quiet on the Set. Dan Schneider was behind this, but there was even more detrimental there. It's going to get deeper. If you are going to go, family values of old family value shows and da-da-da-da-da. This morning, you are going to be like, I'm going to stop watching television completely. Yeah. We've been talking about a lot of this stuff with Randy Rocket Cody about what's going on in Hollywood. Now, the dark side of the kids' TV don't only degrade Nickelodeon television and Nickelodeon and what it did, but also when it started with Disney Channel programs, all these cute programs that you thought were cute and stuff when you were growing up. And there was people that were on from 80s and 90s comedies that joined these shows. Yeah, Dan Schneider helped write and produce along with Brian Robbins. Both of those guys were on Head of the Class. Dan Schneider played Dennis London. Now, Dan was never accused of any sexual sexual assault or sexual anything towards any of his younger stars that he brought in, but he was accused of kind of being a overbearing, dominating boss. Some of you would call cancel culture on him, but some of the people that was on his set were detrimentally disgusting people. On BBC News, I watched a video about hackers using security cameras with homes to kidnap children and kill their parents. So sad and extremely scary. Wow. We're definitely going to get into that. But I want to get into this dark side. It's going to be scary for you guys. I'm telling you, it's true crime. It's going to be our hot topic of the day going into period number 2. And you guys are going to have to stay tuned for that because it's going to be a little bit more detrimental than you guys think when it comes to some of these shows. People who are a guy that was associated with Growing Pains show and the association with the building of Leonardo DiCaprio, who ends up being on the Epstein's list, was under the tutelage of a former guy that messed with Drake Bell. So I'm going to say, stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about. Now we see how Drake Bell how it runs people crazy and the things that is done to these students, kids in Hollywood. It's dangerous, guys. It's dangerous. You know, I want to get my kids into movies and shows. Well, now, Randy Rocket Cody can tell you firsthand why his mom would never let him go to a movie set and be on a movie. Never did she do that. He was mad at her for a long time before she passed away. What? He even told the story here on the show. There was one woman in this 4-part documentary that her daughter was on this, I think the second season of all that. No. The Amanda Show. That's right. With Amanda Bynes. You know her from several movies that you guys like. And yeah, we'll get into all of that in the next period, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll have some true crime news for you. We're going to take a break right quick. When we return on the network, I know I want to put Jasper in TV commercials. Maybe if we could get them into Pure Flicks, that's it. Other than that, Nickelodeon and Disney is not good. I watched this documentary. It's called Quiet on the Set, The Darkside of Kids Television. We're going to talk more about it. I took notes, ladies and gentlemen, while I was watching this thing. I took notes. I took notes last night. All right, back in a moment. Stay with us.
To the Texans for a couple of draft picks.
Now you see why I let you guys read your own news on the politics and stuff, because I get into the real news that they don't want you to hear.
Lions matched the Niners offer sheet to tight end Brock Wright signing into a 3-year deal.
Coming from people saying it, not anything but these people. We'll dive deeper into the truth.
Tied with the Nuggets for the top spot in the West. Hawks beat the Pistons to clinch a berth in the Eastern Conference play-in tournament. The Blazers took down the Hornets to snap their 10-game slide. Hornets head coach Steve Clifford is stepping down at the end of the season. Shohei Ohtani smacked his first homer as a Dodger with a solo shot in the 7th as LA completed a 3-game sweep of the Giants. That's sports. Roger Moss, NBC News Radio.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newton. Same great taste, the best chicken around. Fish dinners, open Monday through
Like, subscribe, and share. I am broadcasting from Atlanta, Metro Atlanta at WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key. Home, the talk of Atlanta, news, inspirational talk, and Southern sports is what we are, my friend. Thank you for asking, CK. S6 South 6 from NC, North Carolina. Appreciate it, my North Carolina friend. Had all that in there. Got a guy that comes on, comes Captain Hot Buns from Arizona. So I always try to do all that stuff, have fun with you guys. All right. We're going to come back and finish out this hour. You're welcome. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? What's going on? Welcome back in. We're about, I'd say about 12 minutes away from the top of the hour. And it's currently 46 degrees in the Atlanta metro Atlanta area. Beautiful sunny skies out there. Time and temperature this time brought to you by Southern States Bank, 20 Oak Hill Boulevard here in Noonan. Open Monday through Thursday, lobby hours 8:30 to 4:30, 8 to 5 drive-through hours, and they've got East Alabama, West Georgia locations, Auburn, Lineville, as well as Anniston and Roanoke, Noonan, Carrollton, and metro Atlanta areas. Southern States Bank, personal banking, business banking made easier. Bringing you a look at your time and temperature. Let's go ahead and do a little wrestling wrap up right quick because I got a lot of stuff to get into in the next couple of hours. So I want to drop this in for you this morning. Dynamite last night. We're also going to tell you some reactions back to CM Punk's interview with on MMA Hour, which really became the third or fourth thing to talk about this week when you had the new Bray Wyatt becoming immortal documentary out about him. Bo Dallas' brother's probably going to be coming back as Uncle Howdy, which he was Uncle Howdy. We also got the story we're going to get into, our hot topic of the day, Quiet on the Set, the dark side of kids television and everything. So it kind of I talked a little bit about the CM Punk interview, which is good. And we got a little bit into it, but it's not as big a information as I wanted to get into. So we'll get some play. Just like and subscribe. What time do you start your channel? Usually 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 hours of nonstop. And we have a lot of great guests that come on and stuff. Thank you, my friend, for asking. Thanks for subscribing. Like, shares. Now that you subscribed, liked and subscribed, share if you don't mind, my friend. All right, let's go ahead and just drop in what's going on right quick as Bryan Danielson will be taking on Will Ospreay at the big pay-per-view. CM Punk, Edge, a.k.a. Adam Copeland, come out, talk about how great it was being there. He's having more fun than he ever did. Loves AEW. Think it's kind of a push for AEW to be, hey, it's great to be here. I understand. That's the way it is. Some people, he's having fun. Will Ospreay defeated Powerhouse Hobbs, and right behind that came Bryan Danielson, who defeated Lance Archer. They got a big match coming up between the two of them, two of the best in the world. Jericho told Hook that he wanted him to trust him. Hook says, hey, we got a tag team match this weekend on Collision against Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. So there you go. Jay White took on Billy Gunn. They got into a big fight. It ended with the two teams fighting one another, the Bang Bang Club and the Acclaim. So there you go. Well, Nightingale was out there with she's taking on Julia Hart. She was out there with her manager and her partner and everything, and the former TBS champion and everything. As they were out there talking, guess who comes out? Mercedes Moné, best known as Sasha Banks the most of you. She's been with AEW for a few weeks now. She wants whoever wins at Double or Nothing after whoever wins the match at Dynasty. Tag team matches on the line. Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. That's what I'm going to call them. They got it as Matt and Nick. It's not Matt and Nick. Get it right. It's Matthew and Nicholas. All right? Okay. They took on the best friends, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, with Chuck Taylor and Trent's mom, Sue. It ended in the night with the Young Bucks winning and Beretta hitting Cassidy with a running knee and turning heel. Clapping my hands on that. About time, Orange Cassidy. He shouldn't even be on television, but whatever. Anyway, Thunder Rosa beat Maria May. AEW's contract signing between Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. They got into a fight, and they're going to be wrestling at Dynasty. So that's about it. Goldberg says you never retire until you're dead in the world of professional wrestling. So there you go. Many people are fighting back after CM Punk's MMA Hour interview, and his thought, he didn't really downplay AEW except for saying Tony Khan was not boss material. Nice guy, but not boss material. I don't know that. I don't know it. He worked for him. I didn't. I don't know, Tony. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying what CM Punk said. He also said that he was in charge helping with Saturday nights, and Jack Perry, who's no longer with the company either, did something wrong, blah, blah, blah. Tony Schiavone's shooting back saying, I really don't give a blank. I know what I said and let him continue to talk if he wants to. Tony, come on. Come on. I know that you're a company man and you've always been a company man. But we don't know what really went on backstage if you had to ask him or not. So I wish I could sing you some Nirvana. Dun, 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 dun. Never mind. I don't have no theme music to that one. I'll have to get it for you. Jake wants me to sing back. One day I'm going to sing for you, Jake. Don't worry. All right, guys, like, share, and subscribe if you're on with us. Stay with us. Tony Schiavone, I'm going to give this one little note about what he said about CM Punk's interview with the MMA Hour with Arnie. Mentioned Tony Schiavone asked him to help him. Jack Perry cussed him out. Tony, Mike, and the doctor in the second episode of Collision about a rental car hitting a pipe, an angle of hitting it with a real glass with it. On the latest episode of What Happened When, Tony was asked about it. He said, I really don't give a blank about it. I'm not going to get into this. I know what he said and let him continue to talk if he wants. That's all I got. I don't give a blank. That's all I can say. I can't go into it. It would be stupid for me to get into it. I have no idea what he said with the explanation, with the exception of someone who told me, oh, he brought up your name and here's what he said. So what? So what? So there you go. Oh, well, you need to watch the interview, Tony Schiavone, so you can make sure whether or not you know what he was talking about. All right, let's go ahead and tell you our poll question of the day. Which 2024 true crime documentary, is True Crime Thursday, will be the first you check out? Daughter's Cult, about a bunch of women and even sons of a cult leader out in, well, I think Arizona and Mexico, New Mexico, went into Mexico, who was kind of like a mobster, killing off all of his competition and everything. Yeah, I watched it, Daughter's Cult. It's a 6-part or 7-part episode, I don't remember. The truth about Jim Jones, that is getting 33%. No one wants to see so far Daughter's Cult. Kathy Anthony's parents, I want to see this one, 33% behind their thoughts on their daughter and the murder of their granddaughter. And The Program, which talks about con, cults, and kidnapping. 33% of you want to see that as well. True Crime Thursday, which 2024 True Crime doc will be the first you check out? Makes you think, huh? All right, ladies and gentlemen. All that being said and done, coming up next hour, we're going to have some true crime news for you. Also, we're going to we'll kick it off for our daily devotion, and we're going to dive into the dark side of kids television, Quiet on the Set. I'm going to give you a little background of all this coming up for you in period number 2 of RyanORadio Penitentiary. And Sally Toole will join us on Wednesday of next week. Instead of today, she had a scheduling problem, so we'll have Sally with us next Wednesday on the network, as what we were going to talk with Sally about today, travel expert, tour guide, Walking Dead tour guide, as well as Family Feud champion. She'll be with us, Sally Toole, next Wednesday on the show. Same bat time, same bat channel. We have a lot of great guests next week. Jim Gossett, comedian extraordinaire, joins us next Friday morning in the second period. Also next Thursday morning, we'll have Elizabeth Sarles, author of the book about her brother's unsolved homicide. She'll be with us next Thursday morning. And we'll have Elizabeth Sarles will join us next week. Unsolved Homicide in Small Town, USA on next Thursday. Next Wednesday, Sally Toole. Next Tuesday, movie reviews with Shane B. and I. We're going to get into that Civil War movie coming out next Friday. And Monday, our good friend, Coach Tommy Lewis, joins us from the Landmark Christian War Eagles. We'll talk about what's going on there and the UFL football. Okay. Now that I got all that out of the way and started irritating you guys, it's time to wake you up. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up. You're like, well, you know, Ryan, I kind of like to wake up. No, wake up now. Okay. Did you say wake up now? I said wake up now. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the latest entertainment news. What's going on in Hollywood? Well, at least this is what they're telling you, all the movies that's coming out. We're going to tell you what's really going on in a moment.
It stars Hunter Schafer as Gretchen, a 17-year-old that's forced to leave America and move into a resort in Germany with her father and his new wife. She notices a sinister presence at the resort and discovers a secret that concerns her family. Cuckoo hits theaters on August 9th.
Join the show.
Iron Butterflies In and Out of Anita came about from a band member's drunken pronunciation of In the Garden of Eden. The badge by Kreme got its title because Eric Clapton misread the word bridge on a lyric sheet. Now we find out that Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was the result of Paul McCartney misunderstanding what one of the Beatles' crew members said. In the RyanORadio podcast, Paul McCartney and Life and Lyrics, the band was on a plane when a roadie asked for salt and pepper. McCartney said he thought the roadie said it Sgt. Pepper, and a song and album were born.
Well, Paul, let's just say some of us Southerners speak that way, buddy. It's just the way it is.
And a music executive who played a major role in the early success of MTV is dying. Gail Sparrow had been working for CBS Epic Records when she was brought in as part of the MTV startup team in 1981. She died following a battle with lung cancer. She was 74. That's entertainment. Mark Beatty, NBC News Radio.
I heard you recently discovered a new COVID variant.
A new COVID variant, like remember Omicron? This is called another con.
Wow, why is everybody coming off this morning?
It's Saturday Night Live, April 20th at the Coastal Grill, formerly House in Roswell, featuring comedian Jim Gossett from the Bob Carson National Radio Show. It's a fun-filled night of comedy, impressions, and brand new parody songs. That's Saturday, April 20th, 8 p.m. at the Coastal Grill in Roswell. For tickets or more information, visit newsmakerline.com or call 678-829-SHOW. That's 678-829-SHOW.
WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, Newton, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
I'm Tasha Stevens. The Texas immigration law is now in the hands of a federal appeals court in New Orleans. Attorneys made their cases for and against SB 4 before the three-judge panel of the 5th U.S. Circuit Wednesday. Texas
Thank you for coming back on, guys. Continue to grow. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Arrest illegal immigrants will not lead to racial profiling. An audit by the Postal Service's Inspector General finds significant problems.
Damaged mail left unprocessed for months. The audit raises questions about the Postal Service's plans to modernize its processing network. The facility is the first of 60 planned regional processing centers that the U.S. Postal Service is launching nationwide to streamline operations and cut costs. But the audit found that work hours and overtime actually increased after the center opened. And the audit also found that problems at the Richmond Center, which opened in July, have contributed to a drop in on-time service that now finds Virginia ranked worst in the nation. I'm Lisa Twyer.
Also at SRNnews.com, a new battle over election laws in Georgia.
The ACLU has already threatened to sue over Georgia's Senate Bill 189, passed by Republican lawmakers, that would make it easier to challenge voter rolls and have people removed. Supporters say the changes will weed out voter fraud and that the current process takes too long. Opponents argue the law targets younger, poorer voters and could put legitimate voters through a legal ringer. The Texas-based group True to Vote and others have challenged hundreds of thousands of voters since 2021. The bill bans the use of rental PO boxes as a voting address and defines evidence for probable cause, such as registering to another jurisdiction or tax exemptions that point to an alternate address. It says that the national change of address list can be considered, but not as sole proof. I'm Jennifer King.
This is SRN News. More details at srnnews.com.
Okay, so Domino's perfect combo includes 2 medium on topping pizzas, 16 Parmesan bread bites, 8 cinnamon twists, and a 2-liter of Coke. Today we're on the street asking real people how much they think about sauce. All this. $34.95. The 10 pizzas are probably too much. What if I told you that the Domino's perfect combo is only $19.99? Shut the front door. It's Domino's perfect combo and it's all just $19.99.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I'm gonna spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. Thankfully, there's a
Oh.
That's pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can reviews the pros, check their availability, even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location. 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newton. Same great taste. The best chicken around. Fish dinners. Open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's Wishbone Fried Chicken right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street.
What's up?
Suite A here
Oh,
in
nobody back home?
Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to future. She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sales agent.
Family fun is back in Lanier. Primetime Carnival and Jordan Communications presents the Lanier Spring Carnival, April 2nd through the 7th. Rides, fun, food, games, more. Open nightly 6 p.m. 2 p.m. for weekends. Lanier Spring Carnival, Highway 29, Old Neal Parking Lot in Lanier, Alabama. April 2nd through the 7th. Family fun for you and me. Be there.
Nick Arnold here from Cowboy to Force. Cowboy to Force is Newman's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.
Work. Time to wake up.
Or follow us on Facebook.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of The Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never missed a like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's The Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Hey, sports fans. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Brings
Ooh, I don't want to wake up. You got to. It's time to get up, get at them, and get out the door.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele. All right, we're gonna do it once more.
Okay, Joe, okay. Ugh. Cleveland. Come on, guys. Yeah. Peter. Quagmire. Oh, okay, Joe. Good, Joe. We got it, Joe. Good morning. Yeah, we're still going, Stewie, and you're here with us this morning on an edition of RyanORadio Penitentiary. True Crime Pete says, I'm out the door, I'm at work, I just don't want to wake up. But you got to wake up. True Crime Thursday, we dive into the hot topic of the day. Quiet on the set. The dark side of kids' television is going to be one of our hot topic of the morning. Period number 2 underway. It's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm your host of the most, Ryan O'Neal, and of course, $50,000 plus of you worldwide all over the Shoutcast, shout it out loud across our RyanORadio media page. Earth, Rock, Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. 25 different radio stations, internet, and real radio combined out there. Plus the British Columbia, Isles of Canada. And finally, across the Jordan Communication of family radio stations. And right here at 99.1 FM WQEE. The talk of Atlanta, the true talk of Atlanta, 99.1 FM, WQEE, the key, home of Southern sports, inspirational talk, news, and the RyanORadio Penitentiary, the only show with the real life, tell it like it is, tell me when I'm telling lies. And to my haters, I got one thing to tell you. My haters are starting to realize that I'm calling them out and they're losing things. They're like, look, people don't want to listen to our lives anymore. It's spring break. Where's my break, says Pete. Well, you never have a break when you're an adult. Adults are not allowed to have breaks. And the ones that take the breaks and go on vacation, then come back and complain that their economy is too much. It's like, well, they don't spend that money on going on vacation. I'll go down and drink a couple of margaritas somewhere, but I'll might be mad about a hamburger that's not good for me. It costs too much. What? Yeah, you're adults. You don't have time for breaks. Sorry, it just don't go that way. This is not 19. It's not back in the day. People take weeks off. There's no such thing as that. When you started your bank account with any bank, it didn't say vacation. It said savings account. It didn't say vacation account. Some people do what they want to do with it, Ryan. Yeah, well, don't complain about bills. Don't say, I'm saving money up to do what I want to do. I don't want to pay bills. Well, damn, nobody wants to pay bills. I hear that from a lot of people. Like, well, nobody wants to pay bills. Well, you got to pay bills. Why? Why? My daddy used to pay all my bills. Well, you don't pay them anymore. Oh, Lord. It's spring break, by the way, Pete. It doesn't matter. You don't get a break, bro. I'm sorry. You're like me. We got to work. If we don't work, bills don't get paid. Even if we do work, we probably still have no money to pay the bills. Oh, Lord. A person in Atlanta bought a lottery ticket and won the Powerball. Yeah, I heard about that. But I bet it's not real. All right, so we're going to say somebody in Atlanta won this time because that radio guy in Atlanta keeps saying this is not real. Every time he talks about this every day. See, think about it. Somebody won in Atlanta because I kept saying it wasn't real. We're going to prove him wrong. Hey, the next winner is going to be from Atlanta. Who's it going to be? Bob Smith. Robert Smith. Typical name. Seriously. I've been telling you guys, like, I wonder if this thing's real. All of the big cities win it. Atlanta's became the latest one. All the people in the big cities that can get lost, that you'll never know who it won. But I'm still going to go spend money on that lottery ticket because I'm going to get it. I'm going to make money on it. I'm going to win it one day. And then I have people that told me about people really won it. Yes, they did. I'm like, do you know somebody who won it? Well, no, not really. You know Bob Smith. Yeah, Pete knows him. Call him and say, hey, Bob, I heard you won the lottery. Lottery ticket. Okay, at Kroger and won. Oh, Kroger in Atlanta. Which one? Which Kroger? Dadgummit. I know they probably told that, but still. Yeah, I'm just saying. I believe somebody won it, but it wasn't a real person. All right, guys. I'm not being conspiracy theory or anything. I'm just saying, look, we come up with 500 conspiracy theories on everything out there, and we think the lottery's being won by for real. They're not. The lottery would never be dishonest. Just because the Monopoly game was dishonest back in the 90s at McDonald's, I mean the lottery would be dishonest. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but all of a sudden somebody in Georgia won after I said nobody in Georgia has won. Kind of weird, huh? Somebody's listening. And if you're listening at the lottery, sponsorship advertising for the lottery, call me, 770-347-9947. Obviously, you're listening, so you need to do some advertising. All right, let's jump into it. Let's do our daily devotion sponsored by Noonan City Church, 17 First Avenue, here in the metro Atlanta area of Noonan. Every Sunday morning, we're going to bring you out under the tent. But first, 8 a.m., we're inside. 9 a.m. and 10:30, we're outside. Thank you guys for coming by and doing that at time. 10:30, somebody had a heart attack because I was telling the truth. Oh, this guy's telling the truth. He's not lying. Just kidding. Heart attacks are not funny. But anyway, Noonan City Church, 8 a.m. inside service, 9 a.m., 10:30 outside under the tent, and 6:30 in the evening. Pastor Jimmy Ellison inviting you out to Noonan City Church, transforming lives for Jesus' sake. Big events coming up. We've got our Bridging the Gap Pancake Breakfast on April 13th. Our NCC membership class is April 21st. Our traditional breakfast is on April 27th. Night of Worship is May 3rd coming up. Race for the Orphans on May 4th next month. Also, June 2nd, the first annual NCC Catch and Fry family fishing event. Oh, I got to be a part of that one on June 2nd at this church. I may not be able to catch anything, but the next person does it. Like, hey, you going to fry some fish up? Noonan City Church doing it up. We got our Vacation Bible School coming up June 10th through the 13th, which is very, very cool because when we started the church, we didn't have enough members to even have a Vacation Bible School, but now it's great. Volunteers are going to be needed for that, and NCCPM classes again, membership classes June 23rd. And we're looking for platinum sponsors of the 12th annual race for the Orphans 5K. Come join us, runners, walkers, downtown Noonan, Saturday, May 4th, to raise money for Georgia families in the process of adopting. Visit racefororphans.org for additional information. That's May 4th. We have that in historic downtown Noonan. Noonan City Church bringing you a look at today's daily devotion. This April 4th, Sarah Young is the author of this daily devotion prayer book, and she is bringing John 8:12, Proverbs 4:8, and Revelation 22:5. Revelation 22:5. Magnificent Jesus, you're the light of the world. Because I'm your Father, I will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Although there is much darkness in this world, I've always access to you and only you. So I am never in darkness alone. The trail before me often looks shadowy, dark, despair. But I know you're there and you're ahead anticipating me, but the truth is you are enough for me. Someday I will be with you in heaven where I will see your light in all its glory. Darkness will be a thing of the past and I will be able to see clearly. The Bible assures me there will be no more night. I will not need the light of a lamp or of the sun, for you will give me light beyond anything I can imagine. In Jesus' name, amen. Woo-wee! Onions will help you catch fish. They will. It will take the human smell away. Wow, that's cool. Anyway, that's a fantastic morning devotion this morning. Being ready for the light. He's the light of your life. And those that are scared of a little darkness next Monday, remember God is going to be with you in the light. Those that are believing in the imaginary conspiracy theorists, the fake conspiracy theorists, the clickbaiters, and the people on the fringe that are lying, do not do that because they're all mad at me for telling you the truth. They are really sending me messages. They're mad at me. No news sources got mad at me for saying anything. They just kind of changed up. But I've had people get mad at me that are trying to sell you guys lies. They're like, why are you getting on your page telling that? I said, I'm telling the truth. I said, I'm not lying. I said, you don't know, either you don't know the Bible. I think I do. So don't listen to all that, but God is going to be with us no matter what. And look, if we're all here on next Monday when he comes back, that means none of us were taken. So that means if we're here if he comes back, then none of us were taken. So we need to look at what we're doing right now, right? No, I'm a good person. I can hate communists and other people and call people names. Well, you're not going to heaven. Why? I'm saved by the blood of Jesus. You're saved by the blood of Jesus, but you still have to go with the Ten Commandments. I really the one thing I dislike is how people go, I don't have to do what the Ten Commandments say, even though Jesus said to follow those commandments. I don't have to do what that says. I'm saved by the blood of Jesus. I can do what I want. In these daily devotions every day, Jesus is telling you not to do what you want and follow him. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Oh, about the onions. Well, I don't like onions, so I have to let that be you. Hello, everybody from Gail. She said, amen. Sweetleaf says, good morning. Sue says, good morning. Tim, Bob, and Rodney K all say good morning to you guys from the Navajo Nation. So is Alice, Mike, and Dave in Canada saying good morning. Diana saying good morning from South Wales. Robert in Australia saying good morning. Kiko in Japan says good morning and good night where she's at is after 9 o'clock. Good afternoon from a couple of other people, and good morning because they are in afternoon in South Wales and England, as well as it's overnight in New Zealand. We got Jake on us from New Zealand, as well as Sarah from New Zealand is saying good morning. So it's good morning there. It's overnight, so it's good morning. Think about it. After midnight there, works good both ways. I appreciate people staying up late on the other side of the country to listen to me. It's just wow. Other side of the world listening to me. It's just wow. Whew. Coming up this hour, guys, we're going to dive into it. The dark side of kids television, Quiet on the Set. I watched the 4-part docu-series, and I'm going to get into it after the break here in just a few moments. 21 minutes past the hour. We're currently holding at 46 degrees, beautiful sunny skies in the metro Atlanta area. Time and temperature brought to you by Eclipse Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, quitters, and gooey things at all. Michael and the crew can exterminate and lay the smack down for you. Let's take a look at a couple of headline news, though. News and sports for you. The city of Kyle, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, announced it's making another attempt to break in the Guinness World Record again this year with the largest gathering of people named Kyle. Gatherings of people named Kyle. It will take place at 1 p.m. May 8th as part of the Kyle Fair, and you can be part of the Kyle group if your name is Kyle. 39 migrants have been charged by Texas with coming across the border wall. Well, as they're setting border restrictions, migrants allege they're being stopped by soldiers during their ruckus fight going out across the border. The state has accused more than 200 people in participating in a riot that occurred at the time and a handful of others on the property as well. Let the National Guard do their job. We can disagree or agree all day with whatever is going on, but you need to let the National Guard do their jobs, ladies and gentlemen. It's not our job to get involved one way or the other. Don't try to play Civil War movie in real life because you're going to get your ass whooped. Let's just say it like that. You're really not going to come out on top. So sit down, keep your mouth shut, and let the men and women that know what they're doing take care of this. And if you're going to go out and you're going to protest. Don't violently attack anybody, especially Border Patrol and National Guard members. They have nothing to do with what you dislike. They are doing their jobs. Chiefs have signed quarterback Carson Wentz. The veteran quarterback has joined the Kansas City Chiefs as their backup quarterback to the two-time NFL MVP and three-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes, ladies and gentlemen. The Falcons have released Justin Schaefer. We told you that on yesterday as well. And in some other headline news and sports news for you this morning, the Falcons has suspended their offensive coordinator, Wes Phillips, after his 2023 traffic stop that he got traffic stop for DUI, and they got to get it resolved before they bring him back to the team. The Minnesota Vikings have suspended him without pay. He was arrested on December 8th of suspicion of driving while intoxicated. He did plead guilty to careless driving and much more on February 15th. And the league is going to look into this, and so is the team, see if there's any more that's going to happen. SMU has dismissed their coach, Robert Lanier, on Thursday after 2 seasons with him. Jeffrey Goodman, who is first reported this, he reported that the report is more than less than 24 hours as FMU lost 101-92 to Indiana State in the first round of the NIT playoffs. The Mustangs shift to the ACC going into their 4th conference in the past 30 years. We'll see them as the Mustangs. SMU will be taking on Georgia Tech, Clemson, Duke, and many going on this season. Wow. All right. We're going to ask you the burning question of the day. It's True Crime Thursday, and we're going to dive into some true crime news throughout the morning. But next, we'll go into a true crime documentary that I watched. All right, which 2024 true crime documentary will be the first you check out? I've already checked out Daughter's Code. It's pretty good. 7%. It's about a sort of kind of Mormon guy who marries so many women, have so many children, and he gets so powerful that he ends up putting hits out on people, including his own brother. You have to watch 7% if you want to check that out. The truth about Jim Jones. I'm going to check this one out. 33% of you. Also, I want to check this one out. Casey Anthony's got 27. Casey Anthony's parents, 27% of the votes from their point of view of their daughter and their granddaughter's death. And 33% of you want to see The Program, which is about cons, cults, and kidnapping. So I'm going to check all those out. I watched one last night that I want you guys to check out. I even took a lot of notes for those that can see me on the YouTube. We're going to talk about it when we come back from the break. 26 minutes past the hour, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in here with 46 degrees time and temperature this go around, brought to you by Southern States Bank, 20 Oak Hill Boulevard in Noonan. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., lobby hours, and drive-through hours, 8 to 5. Friendly banking, personal and business. East Alabama, West Georgia locations, Lineville, Anniston, Auburn, Roanoke, Carrollton, Atlanta, and right here in Noonan. Southern States Bank, a proud supporter of the RyanORadio, Penitentiary, and WQEE The Key. And look at your Southern States Bank time and temperature. Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do one news story before we head in there. One true crime to get a little mouth water. Here's a little appetizer for you this morning as we get ready for the hot topic of the day, and we're going to put the shock therapy news story of the day on you next. Since we are in lockdown, ladies and gentlemen, a shock therapy news story of the day. All right, first of all, a chainsaw wielding man in a Scream outfit is accused of killing his next door neighbor. He dressed up in a Scream outfit. Good evening, Ash. How you doing? Our morning, laugh out loud. Wherever you at, it's good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. And if I don't see you again, a good day. If you remember that movie. All right, a 30-year-old man who was in costume resembling the villain from the horror movie Scream franchise was arrested for stabbing his neighbor to death and attacking him with a chainsaw. This happened on Monday, March 25th, 3:30 p.m. Police in Pennsylvania were called to a home in an assault in progress, and the 59-year-old was a victim with life-threatening injuries. The man was transported to the hospital and pronounced dead, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little appetizer for your shock therapy. Officers learned that the suspect left the area on foot, so he took precautions. They ended up finding the guy's name was Zach Mueller. He was the suspect, allegedly went to Edward Whitehouse Jr.'s house dressed in a Scream slasher's outfit with a knife and chainsaw, for purpose of scaring him. And the documents allegedly said that Zach hit Whitehead in the head with a chainsaw and knife and then left home running away scared. If he was just trying to scare him, he wouldn't have had real weapons. State police eventually found Zach Mueller, and he's in custody in charge of criminal homicide. Days before that, he told his sister he wanted to kill Ed, the neighbor. After stabbing him, he allegedly went to his home and watched a movie, Scream, and got all these ideas. Woo, some people get ideas from movies. Really. It shows. And internet. And clickbait. And fake conspiracy theorists. And people on the fringe. Duh! That's what happened to the guy in Atlanta we were telling you about the other day. He got some kind of idea to run into the FBI thinking that they were his enemies. Got to stop lying. Clickbaiters have got to stop trying to get clickbait. Fake conspiracy theorists have to stop messing up with those other guys that are considered conspiracy theorists. And I'm calling them fake conspiracy theorists because they're out there mixed among the ones that come up with, funny little things or things that you and I may say, that's not dangerous. And people that are on the fringe, they're on the mentally fringe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you the truth. All right, we still got a Georgia man faces murder charges after his mother hit her son found dead in a house fire with stab wounds. We'll talk about that. Also, we'll get back into a few other things. But after the break, we're going to talk about Quiet on the Set, the dark side of television, the dark side of kids' TV. I watched this 4-part episode, ladies and gentlemen. It is scary what the things that are done in Hollywood and how far back it connects to Leonardo DiCaprio. Now you know why. Now I can tell you when we come back why. You can figure he's on that list, the Epstein's list, why he's on that list. Hollywood and certain people in Hollywood mess people up so bad. We're going to talk about Dan Schneider. He wasn't really a part of he made people feel uncomfortable, but he wasn't really a part of doing anything that was over dramatic except for being having a split personality, basically. Being a nice guy at times and being a butthole as a boss. He comes from the 90s. That's probably what that was. He even sent stuff to this documentary saying this was not true, that wasn't true. And he said, this, I'll tell you, if I could have been a better boss, that would have been what I would have done. And he said, if I could have been a better boss and protected the children that were working for me. That's what he said. We'll talk about Dan Schneider and much more after this on this break on the RyanORadio Penitentiary.
Except for a few afternoon clouds today, mostly sunny throughout the day, high near 60.
Guys, I have a lot of notes on this.
Friday, beautiful sunny skies, high near 61. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour.
I'll probably play that tomorrow since they were on tonight's show, since we're going into WrestleMania weekend.
Partly cloudy skies on each Saturday, high near 64. Winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour from the northwest. A few clouds from time to time. Low near 39 on Saturday and light and bare winds. Beautiful sunny on Sunday and high near 73 to low near 51. That's your active weather forecast for this Thursday. Sponsored by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Michael and the crew can exterminate and lay the smackdown for you. Active Pest Control offers the best services and prices to protect your home, offering both monthly and quarterly pest control services, plus specific services like bed bug, turning roach, and flea control. Even if you can't see them, insects are all around you 24/7. Active Pest Control wants to be the first line of defense. Active Pest Control. Prepare, buy, best termite coverage around. Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street, Noonan, 770-954-9941.
Moving is a big decision. Selling or buying a home in any market, but especially today, questions. Hi, I'm Amy with Killingsworth Realty. My husband Todd and I serve the Coweta and local area. Our purpose at our first meeting is to learn your goals, answer questions, and provide resources so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. 678-525-0047 to schedule a free consultation today to discuss your real estate needs. You don't have to do this alone.
Family fun is back in Lanier. Primetime Carnival and Jordan Communications presents the Lanier Spring Carnival, April 2nd through the 7th. Rides, fun, food, games, more. Open nightly 6 p.m., 2 p.m. for weekends. Lanier Spring Carnival, Highway 29, Old Neal Parking Lot in Lanier, Alabama. April 2nd through the 7th. Family fun for you and me. Be there.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to fit your budget. She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sale agent.
I heard you recently discovered a new COVID variant.
A new COVID variant, remember Omicron? This is called another con. Thank you so much. It's Saturday Night Live, April 20th at the Coastal Grill, formerly House in Roswell, featuring comedian Jim Gossett from the Rob Carson National Radio Show. Jim Gossett is the finest conservative political sandwich in the country. It's a fun-filled night of comedy, impressions, and brand new parody songs. Joey and Don Gilbert's and Steph, when he said, I say those Johnny, he now faces. That's Saturday, April 20th, 8 p.m. at the Coastal Grill.
All right, you guys ready? Holly's in Connors today. She is. That's cool. Quiet on the set. It was Darkside of the Ring. I mean, Darkside of the Kids television. You hear in the intro there. The actual trailer for it that was on ID. I watched this last night and wow. It was wow. I mean, I can't remember. I didn't write down the other Predator that really was the one that went after the young lady. I need to get get that one too. But in this new documentary released earlier, probably earlier a couple of weeks ago, years of abuse and inappropriate behavior on shows like iCarly, Drake and Josh, all that, all these shows that came in the early 90s. An investigation found that Dan Schneider, he apologized for regretful action there. He got fired from Nickelodeon, but Dan Schneider left Nickelodeon in 2018 because he was abusive to staff members. You know, a lot of people think, well, that's just the way bosses are. You know, how really he made people feel uncomfortable by doing that. And then there was little jokes that were children's jokes and adult jokes in children's shows. And it's just, it was just, wow. Oh, yeah. I want to get into this one, pull this up here. There was 3 Predators that worked on the set of Nickelodeon, these shows. Now, I'm gonna give you a little background on Dan Schneider and some of the people that worked on the show, besides it being a toxic work environment. Some of you are like, well, you know, I had a boss in the mill, or I had a boss here, I had a boss there that was hardcore and jumped on my butt and everything. Well, you know, because Dan flip-flopped from being a nice guy to being a butthole. Let's just say it like that. But I want to give you a little background on Dan Schneider first. Now, he was only accused of being like a big mouth, let me talk guy. He wasn't accused of any sexual assault or anything like sexual predators they had on there. But Dan Schneider started off his career. His parents were Harvard scholars. They never thought he could do anything. He ends up playing a genius called Dennis Blunden on Head of the Class, where he helped write along with Brian Robbins, who played the hip leather jacket wearing guy on that show, Head of the Class. You guys remember the show Head of the Class? Howard Hessman was the teacher in the first 4 seasons, for the most iconic Dr. Johnny Fever, before he went back to WKRP after that. Well, anyway, this guy was Dennis Blunden. He kind of made the set feel creepy, but he was more hardcore. When they first got the first show that Nickelodeon bought from them was All That, the original All That, which was a comedy show, like a Saturday night show, skits for kids. You know, he spent some time with different people. That's where Amanda Bynes came on and became famous, because one little girl was popular, then she started getting older. But anyway, back to the story of him. He hired 2 women and made them share 2 writers and made them share a paycheck instead of paying them both separately. And on top of that, he told me, so you don't mind if I call you the girls? Because you know how girls get offended. You know, he had that macho attitude there. And I know. People say, oh, that's cancel culture in this guy. Well, he should have watched his kids a little closer on his sets, because he had some pedophiles on his sets. Doesn't matter if he was a butthole. If you can get over somebody being a butthole as a boss, you do, as long as they're not. If you can get over it, that's fine. Everybody can't. And these were children that was working too, so they're not quite used to the domination, especially when their parents are good to them. And so He created, iCarly, of course. And then Sam off that show, Jenny McCurney, went on to do Sam and somebody else show, iCarly, Victorious. Victorious starred a famous a young lady named Victoria, and a famous Miss Grande on that show as well. Zoe 101, which I think that was Jamie Lee Spears, Britney Spears' sister. The Amanda Show with Amanda Bynes. He created all these shows. There was a lot of scary things. And if you go back and really look at them close as an adult, you go, that was a little too. How old was that girl? Wait a minute, they're preteens. Oh. In 2018, Nickelodeon parted ways with Dan after investigation revealed that he had verbally abused towards his staff members. He even had some of the women who were working on staff massage him. Now that's bad. We ain't got into the worst of it yet. The following year, Nickelodeon came under fire after former child star Jeanette McCurry released a tell-all memoir that told about her conversations around how she and her peers were allegedly treated while they were working for the network. And look at it. She played Sam on iCarly, by the way. For those of you that want to know. Tough girl. She referred to the creator in her book, never referred to a name. She claimed this creator rubbed her shoulders, made her wear a bikini, and had her drink alcohol while she was underage. Then Zoe 101 star Alexa Nicholas, who had been very vocal about her allegations and her experience at Nickelodeon, talked about Nickelodeon didn't protect me. She was like 12 years old on Zoe 101, and she was playing the more flirtatious young girl, always wanting boys, boy chaser. You know, some people might think, well, but no, you got to understand, 99.9% of people don't look at the world like that. So, and everybody's like, well, these young ladies don't have careers anymore. They're probably trying to make something off of it. Nope. There was an omission. Please don't freeze up because I need to get down to the wire on these guys. We're going to take a break. Coming up in a moment. Hopefully my feed don't freeze up as it does. We're going to flip it off. God knows. God wants it to be told. See, the devil's attacking because I'm about to tell you about 3 predators. One who worked on good, who was the predator that really came after Drake Bell, and he worked on Growing Pains a number of years with Alan Thicke, who was doing, beauty pageants with a certain someone up in New York. It's all connected. And Leonardo DiCaprio started his career off on Growing Pains. And this guy was very touchy-feely with him. And so will Drake Bell. Back in a moment, we'll talk about that as we continue to talk about the quiet on the set, the dark side of children's television. Back in a moment on the RyanORadio Penitentiary. Don't you be freezing up on me. Yeah, we'll talk about this one too. Nickelodeon should be charged too. Viacom people should be I guess Brian Robbins, who played on head of the class is the Eric. That was his name. They started off as partners and producers, co-producers, and later on they split. So I guess Brian didn't like what he was seeing either. I never spoke with him though. All those kids' shows were not, the kids wasn't evil, but the people that were on them were evil. Some of the people on them were evil. And there were some people that worked on them that didn't even know what was going on because they were just in the business. There was one guy that didn't even know that Drake Bell was sexually assaulted by this Brian Peck guy who worked on Growing Pains, who Alan Thicke was the father on that. Joanne Kearns was the mother on that. Leonardo DiCaprio was on that. Now Leo is on the Epstein's list. Drake Bell got in trouble for some things. I should tell you. It falls down. And Alan Thicke did many beauty pageants for a certain someone out there that people are like, I love still to this day. It's either haters or solar flares pending so yeah, they're coming after me, right? Oh, I'm not quite finished. I've done a lot of research on this. It's called Quiet on the Set, the Dark Side of the TV, Dark Side of Kids TV. And it is terrible what happened to all these kids, how they were abused, and all the jokes were sexually overcharged for kids shows. And we were all letting our kids watch this crap. Or some of you were kids at the time. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. You hear the 90210 theme back there on it. Jeannie Garth, who played Kelly Taylor on the show for 10 seasons, did a show with Amanda Bynes, who was from the Amanda Show, started off on all that, who became Dan Schneider's pick to push to the top. They did a show called What I Like About You. Dan Schneider was on that show for a little bit, but he clashed with several of other people on the show. And his dirty little mindset there, but like, oh, that's just Dan's comedy mindset. His dirty little mindset didn't go over too well with some of the other producers on What I Like About You. So he was only in name only. Brian Robbins, who played Eric Martin on Head of the Class, was partners with Dan Schneider in the first seasons of all that. But later on, they split. So I wonder if he got to know what kind of person he was. Well, Dan Schneider has never been accused. Like I said, he's not accused of anything, but there is people that were on the set that were. Another show, Zoe 101 set, actress Danielle Mott, who starred in Victorious, also claimed that she once expressed concern over a scene that she felt was too sexual, but Nickelodeon refused to cut it. And I'm not even going to repeat some of the scenes, especially with Miss Grande. If you don't like her music, I don't care if you don't like her music or if you don't like her politics. This girl was kind of abused too on that show and on other shows. She was partnered up with Sam on a show, which was Sam from iCarly, who was, of course, Janine McCurry. They were kind of abused. So I don't care whether you like them or not. After watching this, I feel a lot of what went on with these stars as they become adults and what they did, what happened. We're gonna get deeper into this in a minute. We might even have to continue into the next hour because there's so much to talk about. But Dan did not comment at the time, and a spokesperson said that it was absolutely untrue. But many people said Dan, it was just his quote mindset, his comedy set. All right, guys, are you going to freeze up? It's not solar flares. It's the devil attacking because I'm coming after the devil, and the evilness of this world is what it is. and I'm taking up for these kids, and I'm calling everybody out to not talk about these people just because you don't like their music or who they voted for or whatever in the past. These kids were abused, man. And like Sheriff says, sounds like all kids shows were evil. Majority of these were. And even going over to Nickelodeon, even going to Disney. Let me tell you. We're going to talk about the allegations with Drake Bell coming up next and the court case and everything. I'm telling you right now, you guys are going to go, what? There were so many people that defended this guy, including people that were close to people that I like. Oh, no, that can't be true. It was true. Unfortunately. And then there was a guy called Pickle Boy. Oh, here it goes. It is messing up. I knew this was going to happen in the middle of my show. In the name of Jesus Christ, don't mess up because I'm taking up for these kids. Satan is trying to get you guys, keep me from doing this. No. God wants this spoke. God's word is going to be spoke this morning. We're going to defend these children. Whether you're on the right or the left side, we're going to defend these children from the evilness of this world, because you know what? And I wanted to get down to the three pedophiles and give you, I know I got one of them names down. I forgot to get the other guy that went after a child that was a young lady that was 9 years old at the time in Hollywood that was playing a part of a classroom on Amanda Bynes' show, The Amanda Show. He was on the show. He was sending her messages and all kind of things and even dirty things to her and another young lady. And the reason her mom wanted her to be in the movies was her grandmother told her mother, I'm not taking you down. I know how Hollywood is. Just like Randy Rocket Cody's mom told him. Randy was mad at his mom for a while until he ended up figuring out what was going on in Hollywood. So, and it's not just Hollywood, it's everywhere. And it's not just, well, we're on the right, so since we're on the right, we're right, or we're on the left, we're right. No. All these people we're politically on both sides and have friends on both sides. This is why we got to get the truth out there. What is going on? We got more on the Quiet on the Set, the dark side of the kid television coming up after this break. Stay with us. Okay. The devil is freezing this up, guys, because I'm calling them out. You know it is. It froze and disappeared. My information I had up on here froze and disappeared. But yeah, when I watched this thing, it was sick, man. What they did to Drake Bell. I can't really hate on what happened with him because Drake was mentally abused, ladies and gentlemen, physically abused. Well, that's why they won't let this show go any further, because I call their lies out. I call all their lies out, whether it's fake conspiracy theorists, clickbaiters, reality. They don't want to be told because it's all on the evil agenda. That's why I'm not a multi-millionaire on the internet like so many other people are. And that's what really makes me mad. You're right, hackers. That's what really makes me mad. I'm out here doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I get told by all my good Christian friends like, whoa, 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 keep doing what God tells you to do. This is real true crime. I was going to get into some other true crime news, but we'll try to get some of those news stories in the hour. I want to finish this one. Got a lot of notes on the Drake Bell, a lot of notes on the different things here. But I want to get the names of the some of them that I didn't get last night. It's going to take about 5 minutes for my computer for me to go on where I look things up to work. I might have to come off the feed for a minute and look something up on my phone. Because this is taking forever to come up. All right, I got to do what I got to do. Sorry, guys. Hold on. It's going to freeze up, but that's me. This thing shouldn't have did this. WoW internet sucks. Anybody's got WoW internet, shut it down, and all the people who work for WoW, hey, lose your job for all I care. The internet is the worst thing in the world. We need to go back to Spectrum. I'm going back to Spectrum here. I'm going back to Spectrum. It works. Those people work. Those people got everything. Now, you're not having trouble, guys. Yep. Sorry, I got mad, but I get mad when the internet don't work and it's paid up and this thing is up to date over here. Makes me mad when it messes up. Oh, okay. All right, back in a moment, guys. I'm sorry. If it freezes up, I got to look something up on my phone because my internet feed that I had to look up what I need to look up is messed up. I apologize, but sorry. Wow. I see the poll question got updated. If I can come off of here without messing it up.
Jurisdiction or tax exemptions that point to an alternate address. It says that the national change of address list can be considered, but not as sole proof. I'm Jennifer King.
This is SRN News. Florida's heartbeat bill is about to go into effect.
Beginning on May 1st, abortion will be banned in the Sunshine State as soon as an unborn child's heartbeat can be detected, usually about 6 weeks into pregnancy. The Florida Supreme Court has rejected a challenge to the measure, which is similar to legislation already in place in other states. Meanwhile,
I'll just let the news go.
working on a ballot measure that would enshrine abortion in the Florida Constitution this November. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
Anti-Semitism in Pennsylvania. Officials say 2 synagogues outside Philadelphia were vandalized, both marked with swastikas and slurs related to the ongoing war between Israel and terror group Hamas. The incidents are being widely condemned, including by Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who wrote on X, "Anti-Semitism and the vandalism of a house of worship of any kind have no place in this Commonwealth." End quote. This is SRN News.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Attempts to cash in on the solar eclipse.
I agree with that too, Cher.
Donut makers have in common. These are just some of the businesses that are hoping to take advantage of all the excitement over the total solar eclipse that will black out the sun for a few minutes Monday afternoon across a big swath of North America. Hotels and resorts along the path of the eclipse are offering special packages. Southwest and Delta are offering special flights for good. Krispy Kreme is teaming up with Oreo to offer a donut meant to look like the eclipse. Donut Dude in Ohio will sell a box of donuts.
Oh yeah, that donut. That's gonna be a good one. Donut with an Oreo in it. Krispy Kreme is getting for Monday.
Michigan mayor's warning visitors to stay away from his town ahead of next week's eclipse. Lanier Mayor Jim Gardner made the announcement because the main bridge into the city was demolished last year. It won't be rebuilt until July.
He's accused of a lot of stuff. Sex, abuse, sexism, racism, and inappropriate dynamics with underage stars and crew. That's what Dan is accused of. He did do some racist stuff on them shows too, by the way, which was considered comedy back then. A lot of people, there's gonna be a lot of people to defend this guy. Well, I tell you what, man, people just can't handle comedy. They're children, morons. They shouldn't be put in that position.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Hi, Lisa Wolf to tell you that the 5-hour Hollywood 360 show and the 30-minute Radio Rarities podcast can be emailed to you every Monday via digital download link that never expires. That's 24 classic.
Good morning, Warrior Defenders. Thank you for joining us.
Interviews, music, trivia, and much more. Listen to Hollywood 360 and Radio Rarities whenever you'd like. Visit Hollywood360radio.com to subscribe. That's Hollywood360radio.com.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location. 31 Jackson Street, Suite A.
Oh, having coffee in Calhoun, Georgia. What's up, Calhoun, Georgia?
Open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's Wishbone Fried Chicken right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A. Here in Newton.
We're getting ready to go back. Finish our. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. I am here with you in the final period of play on this True Crime Thursday. We continue our dive into Quiet on the Sets. The dark side of children's television continues in the second half, the first half of this third period, I should say. First half of the second. That's all coming up for you now. It's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm your host and host, the one, the only Ryan Neal, and of course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm welcoming you back in 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. We're across the RyanORadio media page. We're on iHeartRadio, Amazon Prime, and so many other apps. We're across the Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, the Navajo Nation, 25 different radio stations, internet and real radio there. British Columbia Isles in Canada, and East Alabama, West Georgia's very own 99.1 FM WQEE, Atlanta's Real Talk. We're the talk of Atlanta. We're the WQEE 99.1 FM, the key, home of Southern sports, inspirational talk, and real news. Of course, the home of the RyanORadio Penitentiary. We tell it like it is. We don't tell you what you want to hear. Straight edge independent skeptic, and to my haters, I got one thing to say to you. I am the man around here, and I deserve to be the man around here because I tell it like it is. I don't sit around crying and whining and making up clickbait news and being a fake conspiracy theorist and living on the fringe of lies and everything. You know, I call everybody out, and today, this is the biggest thing. You want to talk about protecting children? Everybody talks about protecting children on this side or on that side and what we got to do. But we sit around and we'll allow people with money to do whatever they want. Okay? And then we go, well, you know, if you can't handle working for somebody like Dad who was overbearing and he had sexual racism and all that. Yeah, back in the day, people didn't care. We had a sense of humor. This was the 90s into 2000s. People had a sense of humor. Well, these were young kids that were being put in there. When adults doing these situations throughout all these series, from iCarly to Drake and Josh to the original All That, the second All That, to Victorious, to Zoe 101, every one of these shows you've seen on back in the past, either your kids, grandkids, or you or whatever, or watching these shows. Now, is this going to damage you if you watch these shows and find out that people you liked? We're going to get into the second half is going to be about Drake Bell and the connections it's got all the way back to Growing Pains, all the way back to Beauty Patches out of New York City. Many beauty patches over the years. No, he didn't know anything about it. None of these people knew anything about it. If you like them, they don't know anything about it. If you like them, they don't know anything about it. Anyway, I liked Head of the Class, but I'm not going to defend Dan Schneider, period. Jenny McCarthy, who played Kelly Taylor on 90210, did a series with Amanda Bynes called What I Like About You. Didn't really like dealing with Dan Schneider, and some of the other co-producers like, well, yeah, those ideas, I don't think they're going to go well here. You know, we'll let you have your name on this, but you just not. And he says, and he told everybody he stepped back because he had all kind of other series to do. That's why he stepped back from the What I Like About You series. That was on the CW. Anyway, we'll get into all that, continue talking about that. But it is True Crime Thursday. What 2024 true crime documentary will be the first you check out? 6% of you are saying Daughter's Cult. It's about a kind of a Mormon guy who married all kind of women living out there in Mexico or something like that. New Mexico, went into Mexico, all this kind of stuff. He also had a dark secret, killing his own brother, having other people killed, kind of a mobster type of way. 6% of you want to watch that. The Truth About Jim, which is Jim Jones, 29% want to watch that. Casey Anthony's parents, we all know about Casey Anthony and her daughter going missing, her parents. 29% of you want to see that too. And the program, Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping. I just had to put Con, Cults, Kidnapping in there. I couldn't put and. 35% of you want to watch that series. Stay on with us, guys. We got some stuff going on. Whitleaf says, where's everybody going? It's getting good here. God is exposing them all. Everybody on the right and the left side. Nobody's good. Even the ones we thought were good are not good. This man is damaging world wrestling entertainment just by being what he did. But anyway, we'll get into that. However, Dan Schneider has actually faced numerous allegations of abuse, sexism, racism, and inappropriate dynamics with underage stars and crews, according to this documentary. Also, as for former cast and crew members featured in the docuseries, ID has revealed that several people are set to be a part of it. All that director Virgil Fabin was there. Cast members Giovanni Samuels, that's Kyle Sullivan, Katrina Johnson, and Brian Hearn were all part of it. I watched these grown people. You saw the hurt in their eyes. Alexa appeared in the trailer and said, I've been waiting 17 years to talk about this. Writers of The Amanda Show, Jenny Kilgan and Christy Stratter, both one of those women were paid, had to be paid. They instead of being both paid separately, they shared payment, guys. Sexism on it. Double Dare host Mark Summers, who's also been on Food Network and everything, partaked in the series, and it blew his mind for some of the stuff. So did some of the other people that were on there. Meanwhile, the trailer featured claims that an unnamed former employee's one person said Dan's treatment of people on his shows was an open secret. It was a toxic environment, and it made me trust people less, he said. Nickelodeon knew about the hostilities too. Gender discrimination, harassment, racial, and everything. And there was 3 predators, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one I wanted to get to. The 3 predators on the set. 3 predators who worked on the set of the kids' show. One was an ex-employee that claimed that had an enormous amount of child pornography found, while someone else then added, the officer said, we found Ziploc bags, each one with girls' names on it. Yes, this is the guy I was talking about. And this guy was sending pictures of himself to this one young lady who her mom participated in the documentary. Her mom's mother, her grandmother, would not take her mom to any of the sets in Hollywood to be in the movies because her mom knew what happened on sets and everything and didn't want her child exposed to it. So she was mad and decided, well, since I can't do it, I'm going to let my daughter do it. Her daughter goes and be on the Amanda Show, and this guy sends a picture of him pleasuring himself to this girl, 9-year-old, 10-year-old girl, and said he's thinking of her. Police got all this, and her name was even on that, and they found him. He was charged. 11 charges related to child act. Well, another person was 11 charges related to a child actor. We'll talk about him now with this guy. The next guy is going to be Brian Peck. Was the coaching victim. Brian Peck had 11 charges related to him, and he was able to move on later on, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? Worked with a couple of people who wrote letters. He had a lot of people writing letters when he went to court. We'll get to those in a minute, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But 2 of those people, husband and wife duo, hired him as they went to the Disney Channel and did the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. He was on the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody set. This guy, after he sexually assaulted and did the worst things you could think of to Drake Bell of Josh and Jake. Drake started off on the Amanda Show. Josh came on. Nickelodeon was looking for a buddy show. Good morning. Good morning. Hello? 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 You'd have hung on, you'd have been on. All right, anyway. Nickelodeon was looking for another buddy comedy, and though Josh and Drake did good, and they played stepbrothers, and Drake was playing guitar and singing. Drake started off in Mini Drake Bell. Some of you go, maybe him did so. Yep. We'll get to what he did and everything and how this messed him up into it. But Drake started off in movies and shows. He did the Jerry Maguire movie where he was the kid that turned around and didn't really flip off, but did his ring finger towards Jerry Maguire. That was Drake Bell, if you guys didn't know. He also was on several other shows, Tool Time, and different things like that. But he ended up wanting to be in the show. He ended up going to being on Amanda's show. Dan Schneider, who we told you earlier in the last hour, was originally known as, he's a writer, producer, comedian, and he and Brian Robbins, who played Eric Martin on Head of Class, he played Dennis Blooding on Head of Class. They spent 5 seasons on Head of Class doing that series. And, of course, later on, he went to Nickelodeon and became Nickelodeon's Golden Boy, bringing all kind of shows. We told you, Victorious, that starred Victoria, that starred Miss Grande, that starred so many different people. iCarly, spinoff of iCarly's show, the spinoff of, which was a spinoff of Drake and Josh, spinoff of Amanda's show, all that. He just took these and moved on. But Drake Bell, who ended up being sexually assaulted by Brian Peck. You want to know Brian Peck's background? Brian Peck was a producer on many comedy shows back in the day, and one was Growing Pains, the series that Kirk Cameron was on, the series that Tracy Gold was on, the series that Jeremy was on. Jeremy, gosh, I can't remember, forget his name. The series that launched Leonardo DiCaprio, who's on the Epstein's list now, Leonardo DiCaprio's career. He was touchy-feely kind of guy, just to let you guys know. A series that Alan Thicke and even Joanne Kearns, who later on said, well, if I knew this was the serious charges, I wouldn't have wrote how great a person he was. 2 of many, many stars who defended this guy. I'm going to tell you. And there's going to be some people, you're going to be, what? I can't. Those people, members of the Boy Meets World staff, TV show. You guys haven't been watching much television anymore when you find out that this guy was on all these series. And he was a touchy-feely guy, Brian Peck was. And at the time, Drake Bell's father was his manager, going everywhere with him, taking care of him, watching him like a hawk on the set, because he heard about things on set, so he watched him like a hawk. Wasn't very liked on the set because they were like, Drake's father was like, too much hovering. Drake's father was like, I understand it, I like it, but this was my kid. Well, Brian Peck ended up, by the time Drake was 15 out there singing, Brian was checking him out, following him everywhere. Ended up telling him, you didn't need your dad to be your manager. Talked him to going back home to his mom because they were divorced and mom taking over everything. And of course, Drake's father, hey, this is my son. I don't want, this is already going to damage so I'd rather make him happy right now and do this than to cause any argument, say, hey, I'm going to put my foot down, like Amanda's Bynes' parents put their foot down when she went off and became wild and tried to get divorced from her family. But anyway, he's staying a lot, getting taken to Disney World, all this kind of good stuff, thinking Brian's going to be a mentor and an actor, a trainer, and a coach, an acting coach. And, well, Peck just started doing things. He started pecking. And it went on for a number of years. And then one night, Drake was sitting in his girlfriend's house at the time. And the guy kept calling over and over. Brian kept calling over and over and over. Now, of course, Drake Bell's father had been thinking this guy was some kind of, child molester in the first place, thinking he would do something, and kept going to Dan and everybody on the set of Drake and Josh before Drake moved into this situation. And they're like, you just don't like him. You just don't trust him. He's a touchy-feely guy, and you don't like him because he's gay. He's like, well, maybe that's what it is. Okay, I don't want to be judgmental. But anyway, back to the situation at hand. All of it happened. It went on for a number of, maybe a year or something. And Drake had a girlfriend. He was at his girlfriend's house, and he just didn't want to answer the guy. And the guy kept calling him on, even called him on the girlfriend's phone, and the mother answered and everything. And finally, his girlfriend's mother asked him to go into the kitchen and talk to him for a minute. And she said, "What's going on here?" She knew something was up. She ended up calling Drake's mother and said, "There's something going on. We got to get him into therapy. He's just not." And Drake said he played it off because he didn't want to get him in trouble, because Brian had enough stroke to keep him in the business. Okay. Anyway, it goes on. He gets away from him, and he finally one day he's on the phone with his mom, and he just blats it all out what happened when they had a disagreement. And they didn't tell the daddy yet. So the daddy was kept in the dark even after the Brian Peck guy was sentenced. Anyway, the police show up at the house. They set up a call for him to call Brian. They talk. He has Brian admit all this stuff and say he's sorry, and they end up taking him to jail. And it's another couple of months before he's took him to court. Drake calls his dad and tells him they finally got him. Who? Brian. Brian. He said, "Hi, Brian." "Oh, really?" He said, "I'm glad he finally got him before he did anything to you." And Drake said, "I couldn't tell my dad he did anything to me." He said he eventually found out, and it was hard and hurt him. And Drake's dad was like, I wish I could have been there for him. And as a man, we all know that if his dad would have been there for him, Brian Peck wouldn't have lived. Let's just say that. He wouldn't have moved on to the sweet life of Zach and Cody. It'd have been the sweet life of being in the ground. Anyway, many people show support of this Brian Peck, which really he went to jail for 16 months, and he had to be signed as a predator, sexual predator. Well, he got hired onto another kid's show on Disney Channel, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Let me tell you who all. There was a few famous actors in movies, young actors. Alan Thicke, Joanne Kearns, Growing Pains. Joanne later on took back. She wished she wouldn't have did that. Thomas DeSato. He was the movie director for a lot of the Marvel movies. Will Ferrell, and Ryder Strong of Boy Meets World supported this child molester. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it was. Sexual predator. Hollywood will bury the people. They're afraid their careers will be buried, so they're going to talk good about them. Alan Thicke, who's connected to hosting a lot of beauty pageants for a certain someone up in New York City and New Jersey. They used to have towers there. It's all coming together, ladies and gentlemen. Now, back to what I was saying, when this Brian Peck was also on the set of Growing Pains, there was video of him hugging and lovey-dovey all over Leonardo DiCaprio. No wonder Leonardo has to chase after younger women today. Maybe something was done to him and he never said anything. Drake Bell come out. He had that situation he was charged with online. He never met the person that was a teenager fan, but he took his medicine and everything, and got had to pay certain things and this, that, and the other. Went bankrupt and everything. So it's a trend that happens, ladies and gentlemen. It's a trend that's happening. Down. So now we know why Leonardo DiCaprio is on that Epstein's list. All these people are controlled. It's, Randy even told this, and people were like, Randy's crazy. Well, we're not going to let Randy spread his gospel all over the internet. We're going to pull him off of X. They pulled him off of X because he was telling the truth. They pulled him off of X recently because he was telling the truth, because he wasn't staying in the feed to make Elon Musk happy and the people that people love. But I like Elon. He lets me say what I want to say. And then they don't let Randy tell the truth. If you're going to sit there and spread gossip and lies, You can clickbait, they'll let you on there. But if you're going to tell it like it is, they won't. Randy told the story of his mom on the show, her passing, and she's passed away, that she wouldn't let him do commercials and shows. He had a movie he was going to star in, and she called him and had him turn him down. And he found out later it was her that did it. But until he learned what kind of people were in this industry, all his mother was doing was protecting him from these type of people. Dan Schneider comes back later today, says, after the film and everything, he says, they had a right to do this on me. He said, I wish I could have been a better boss, not overbearing. And he said, I wish I wouldn't have he said, I would have did something different and watched the kids closer, especially the one child that had the 11 charges related to the child actor of which and everything. Now, Drake was hoping that none of his other former co-stars and anybody else knew it was him. They all started calling him. They all found out Brian Peck did it, but nobody told who it was, because in that day and time, they didn't have to. And the internet was just getting started. So nobody knew Drake. It happened to him. None of them. All these other people and all that and everything. Dan had the parents leave out to this, and lawyers were in there, and they asked them, did anybody have any kind of other encounters with Brian Peck on our set? And then there was one guy was on there like, this happened on one of our shows? So it's called The Dark Side of Television, Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Television, 4-part mini-series about all these series. And it goes deeper into other people as well. It goes deeper into Amanda Bynes' relationship with Dan Schneider, how close they were, how when she was ready to divorce her parents, she called him late one night to get his help to help her divorce her parents, to get so she could continue to party. She did grow into quite an actress and having some problems later on, like so many of these stars did, with drugs and alcohol. Jeannie McCurry, who played Sam on iCarly, had that tell-all book we told you about. She told things. It was just so many different people. Dan Schneider ended up getting a Lifetime Achievement Award before he was asked to leave Nickelodeon years ago. And every one of the big stars come out there that he made and thanked him and everything, except for Jenny. Now, some people might have not felt comfortable with him because most of them said they never had a problem with Dan. They said the only problem they had with him was he was a little too loud and a little obnoxious. Now, some people couldn't handle how he was screaming and hollering, and some people can. You have different kids out there brought up by different parents. Some parents bring their kids up with no hollering in their homes and everything. So that might have been something they were not used to. Okay. So we can't sit there and call everybody weak because was saying things and doing things that he should have been in a more professional manner. And that's what he said. So he was never accused of anything like that, but it's kind of strange to me. It's kind of strange that he would take and make sexual overtones in all these series. He even had one guy called Sausage. What was it? Pickle Boy. He was an actor on the set. Now, he wasn't one of the three, but he would have these pickles shaped like male genitalia. And Ray from Everybody Loves Raymond from Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray Romano, I think. Yeah. He made a guest spot on all that. He's like, I'm hungry. And they slid a pickle in the door, and he took it and yeah. Anyway, you check at some of these, they said that was just Dan's joke. You look at it, you go back and watch all these shows, Zoe 101, you go back and watch Victorious, iCarly, some of Drake and Josh, not much, but Amanda Show, all that, the original series, all that, the second season or the second version of it. You go back and look at all the stuff that they did. It just wasn't good for kids, and especially the young stars that were on there. So that's the documentary I looked at. I figured I'd talk about it. And Yeah, God's exposing all of them. But we got to stop as a community of people in the United States and around the world. We have to completely go, I'm not going to take my kids and grandkids to be in something like this unless it's 100% safe, unless you can stand there and watch everything that's going on. Because I'm sorry to directors and everything out there. We need helicopter parents and grandparents for these kids to keep them safe, or they end up like these kids in these shows. And these were supposed to be safe, clean shows, and they were never safe, clean shows. And they're all associated back to the same people, all off the Epstein's list, all these people, all the stuff that Vincent McMahon did over the years. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's disgusting. And I don't care if you like somebody. I don't care if you like Vince or not like Vince. I don't care if you want to defend Dan Schneider for being, well, these people should understand that some people just act that way. It was just weak-minded. It's cancel culture. It's not cancel culture. It's not cancel culture when you're abusing people, guys. When you got predators on the set, when you're bringing these kids up, you're grooming them. It's not that. We need to get over our attitudes because somebody we like is being called out for something. Well, since somebody we're like being called out for something, that means it's all cancel culture. We got to stop that. If you got that old mindset, it doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't work anymore. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll ask you the poll question in the morning. And, ladies and gentlemen, it's about 33 minutes past the hour, 34 minutes past the hour now. And your time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Michael the Crook can exterminate and lay the smack down for you. When we return, more on this hour, more RyanORadio, Penitentiary, and True Crime News. And True Crime Thursday.
Offering both monthly and quarterly pest control services, plus specific services like bed bug, turn roach, and flea control. Even if you can't see them, insects are all around you 24/7. Active Pest Control must be the first line of defense. Active Pest Control. Prepare, buy, best termite coverage around. Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street, Noonan. 770-954-9941.
Want to give back to your community in a meaningful way? Cares for Kids is a Keller Williams Realty founded charity in which 100% of money raised goes directly to children in need in our area. Cares for Kids helps fund local organizations like Angel's House, Coweta Casa, Elevate, and more. Help Cares for Kids reach their mission of serving 1 million children. Call 678-634-9770 today to learn more on how to be involved, or text K4K Noonan to 44321 to donate.
Hey, sports fans, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show.
Got a little heavy this morning, but we had to.
That's Braves Country. Back again, the armchair quarterbacks. Weekdays 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
I heard you recently discovered a new COVID variant.
A new COVID variant. You remember Omicron? This is called another con. Thank you so much. It's Saturday Night Live, April 20th at the Coastal Grill, formerly House in Roswell, featuring comedian Jim Gossett from the Rob Carson National Radio Show. It's a fun-filled night of comedy, impressions, and brand new parody songs. Documents in 7 places, St. Louis, he now faces. That's Saturday, April 20th, 8 p.m. at the Coastal Grill in Roswell. For tickets or more information, visit newspaperline.com.
Here we go. Here we go. Welcome back in to the RyanORadio Penitentiary on True Crime Thursday. We got a few more true crime news stories. Get it in the feed here. This is our poll question in the morning. Which 2024 true crime documentary will be the first you check out? Daughter's Colts getting 6% of the votes. The Truth About Jim Jones, it is 29% of the votes. Casey Anthony's Parents, 29% of the votes. And The Program, Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping, 35% of the votes voting right now. Looking good. Let's move on. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And also check out Quiet on the Set, the Darkside of kids TV and everything. So there you go. We talked about it the last 30 minutes of the last hour and the first 30 minutes of this hour. It was that important to get out there. I know it's heavy. It was some heavy stuff to talk about this morning, but until we realize as a society that we are encouraging and pushing everybody to go do things and no, that's never going to happen to me, and this is never going to happen to me, and that'll never happen to me, and the people I like are good, and the people, they're wrong. As long as we keep putting in our mind that people with a lot of money don't use and abuse people, don't lie to them, and don't do things. Well, I like them because I like them. And that includes Republicans and Democrats that are in the White House and outside the White House and running and all this. That includes all of them, not just one side. It includes all of them. And when people realize that, and then Monday comes, and if Jesus did come back on Monday, you realize that you hadn't been taken and that you're here when he comes, that you must have did something wrong. We have to start realizing right now that we have to stop defending people just because we like something. We can't defend people because we like shows. We can't defend people because we like political parties. We can't defend people because we like people worldwide that are famous or whatever, or sports people. We can't defend people and go, well, I'm just going to have to wait to see what the evidence comes out. Evidence has came out on every one of these people, all over. And we're still going, I don't want to talk about it. Somebody I like's on that list, I don't want to talk about it. Leonardo DiCaprio's on that list, I don't want to talk about it. Chris Tucker's on that list, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just using that as an example. There's a new movie coming out based upon Prince Andrew, who was on that list, who had an interview with a BBC news person, and the lady kind of gave information for the movie, and he thought he looked good, and he was taking her around and introducing her, showing everything in the castle before he was dismissed from his duties when this situation happened a few years ago. There's going to be a new movie out about that. So just to let you guys know, all these people are doing something, and we as a society need to look and go, well, I might like so-and-so, but I better rethink liking so-and-so. That's just what I got to say. Nobody's ever going to talk about the person I like. It's cancel culture, man. They got rid of that Dan guy because he liked to say sexually overtoned stuff on children's programs, being racist. It's all right. It was funny back then. Oh, yeah. He had women. He was screaming and hollering at them and making a massage. There's nothing wrong with that. You got people whose minds are messed up that hard, they think that that's right. A 32-year-old man, and those people are evil, and that's why they're still here. That's why they haven't been taken. A 32-year-old man is in custody after a 47-year-old mother and her juvenile son were found dead in a house fire this week in Grovetown, Georgia. On Monday, April 1st, 10:53 a.m., Grovetown Fire Department responded to a structure fire, and the Grovetown police said that in a news release around the same time, officers said the city's general services director saw the home ablaze and learned that from a neighbor that there were people inside, and he reported tried to enter the home, but firefighters arrived and made their way in. Donald Beck was located inside the rear window. He allegedly broke the window to try to escape from the home, and firefighters pulled him from the flames. Beck reportedly said that there were others in the fire and he was transported to the hospital for treatment. After the flames were put out, officials found Karen Boswell and her son dead in the front room, and the coroner and the fire marshal went to the scene. The coroner determined the victims were stabbed with a knife, and the bodies were transported for autopsy. Police said Beck and Boswell resided in the area together with other children. Beck was booked into the Columbia County Jail on Tuesday, April 2nd, for 2 counts of murder, first-degree arson, and he remains there without a bond. Wow. Some other headlines. Florida man allegedly hits woman for months, assaulted her with a baseball bat and a screwdriver. Florida man, again, the 48-year-old man was accused of kidnapping the woman and holding her hostage for 2 months. Also, an 82-year-old man allegedly sets himself and home on fire before throwing gasoline at deputies. We got to get into that one. Also, Louisiana man pleads guilty to killing couple he lived with and working for. Wow. These are all stories I would love to tell you guys. I'm going to let you read them for yourself on the WQEE page. Oklahoma City man, an elderly man, has died after reporting lighting himself on fire during an eviction this week. The 2 deputies served an eviction notice for an elderly couple at a home, and the sheriff, Tommy Johnson III, said one of the deputies had been working with the residents to find them a house and secure an extended stay facility. An Uber was reportedly waiting for them out front. When deputies first entered the home, they met 82-year-old Anthony Golden's wife in the living room. She was suffering from Parkinson's disease and was barely limited to be able to be mobile. The deputies then observed Anthony pouring gasoline on the floor on himself. Deputies tackled him, and then he allegedly pulled out a lighter and lit himself on fire, throwing gas cans on one of the deputies, briefly setting her on fire as well, the sheriff deputy said. The deputies went back to the home in the living room, pulled the woman out of safety. Johnson said one of the deputies attempted to go back into the residence, St. Anthony, but the house was overtaken in flames and smoke, and he died. Wow, sad news. Throwing people out on the street. They don't have the money to pay their bills. They got to pay their bills. They got to have their medicine. They got to have food. Just not enough money. No, let's don't go into saying whose America it is, because let me tell you what, it's all of ours faults. It's not. I mean, it's the whole world was shut down by the economy. It's China's fault. China sent a virus out and shut us down, causing all of us to lose money for 2 years, probably even more than that. So I blame China on all this, on all of it. I don't blame Asian Americans, and don't go out attacking an Asian American. I'm not saying do that. Only a retarded person would do that. And yeah, I said retarded, and I'm not talking about people with Down syndrome. I'm talking about retarded people who think it's all right to go fight for every little thing there is out there, boy. My freedom beach. Think the Civil War movie is going to be a prequel to reality. No. So I feel sorry for this couple and the husband dying and everything. Wow. She ain't going to know where her husband is. We're going to be back in a moment. We're going to talk about it. It's the Eclipse donut. I'll tell you what Krispy Kreme is selling. I'm going to have to get me one on Monday for sure. I'm going to have to find some money somewhere. I'm going to have to find some money somewhere if I have to borrow it. Steal it from somebody. No, I'm not going to steal it. No. That'd be clickbait. Back in a moment.
Selling or buying a home in any market, but especially today, can raise a lot of questions. Hi, I'm Amy with Phillips. My husband Todd and I serve the Coweta and local area. Our purpose at our first meeting is to answer questions and provide resources so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. 678-525-0047 to schedule a free consultation a day to discuss your real estate needs. You don't have to do this alone.
Family fun is back in Lanier. Primetime Carnival in Jordan Communications presents the Lanier Spring Carnival, April 2nd through the 7th. Rides, fun, food, games, more. Open nightly 6 p.m., 2 p.m. for weekends. Lanier Spring Carnival, Highway 29, Old Neal Parking Lot in Lanier, Alabama. April 2nd through the 7th. Family fun for you and me. Be there.
Nick Arnold here from Cowie to Force. Cowie to Force is Newman's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowitoforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
It's back in a brand new location, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newnan. Same great taste, the best chicken around. Fish dinners, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. is Wishbone Fried Chicken, right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A, here in Newnan.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of a 45's Affair radio show, where I play all vinyl 45s. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, Newnan, Georgia.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back in. We appreciate you being with us. We got a few more minutes left. So, Krispy Kreme is celebrating the big solar eclipse on Monday in a sweet way. Starting tomorrow through April 8th, the donut spot is selling the total solar eclipse donut. The limited edition is an Oreo packed treat in honor of the rare event is set to come across North America on Monday, April 8th. The total solar eclipse donut takes an original glazed donut, dips it in black chocolate icing, tops it with sprinkles and an Oreo buttercream cookie. Oh my God. Sweet. People love sweets out there. Those people love sweets. You're going to have to get one. Oh my goodness. The sandwich cookie center resembles how the sun, the moon, and the earth line up during the eclipse. As the moon passes the sun and the earth, it casts a shadow on our planet that either is fully or partially blocking the sun's light in certain areas. NASA has mapped out the highlighted places will experience the solar eclipse on April 8th, including cities in the path of it. The eclipse will be visible for a few minutes, and a total solar eclipse won't occur again for another 20 years. Burger King's doing something on Monday too. The buy one, get one free Whoppers. We're going to Burger King Monday. I don't care how dark it is. I just turn the light on and go to Burger King. Turn the lights on the car, go to Burger King. The exclusive offers for Royal Perks members of the which text. You got to, okay, let me write this down. You got to text Eclipse to 251 251. 251 251 Eclipse. All right. And online at bk.com. Oh, it runs through April 15th. So, if the eclipse don't get you, the IRS will. Oh, man, it's starting tomorrow, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Woo-wee. 2044, as Pete says, is when the next one's going to be. Well, get you a total eclipse donut, which is going to be, oh, my gosh, so good. All the kids are going to want one. So all the kids are going to want one. And then once again, text Eclipse to 251 251 and or go on to bk.com for getting that BOGO for Monday, probably through the 14th. Woo-wee! 2 Whoppers. Man, I'm already getting hungry. Total Eclipse of the Sun. There was a song called Total Eclipse of the Sun. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah, I can't wait for that. All right. Tomorrow morning on the show, it's the Friday edition. We'll have the good news story of the day, some of your headline news, little sports, UFL week, getting ready for weekend 2 of the UFL. The Stallions will be taking on, I want one laugh out loud, me too. The Stallions will be taking on the Michigan Panthers this weekend. The St. Louis Battlehawks will take on the Arlington Renegades. We'll get you a rundown of all the games at Football Friday. And it's WrestleMania weekend. We'll talk about WrestleMania SmackDown tomorrow night. Hall of Fame. My predictions who I think might show up. Give you matches for Saturday and Sunday night. WrestleMania weekend in Philadelphia. And what I think is going to happen. So be ready for that. Feed me s'mores. I know that's right. So we'll have WrestleMania tomorrow in the final period and everything. Well, our question of the day, poll question of the day is, which 2024 true crime documentary will be the first you check out? Daughter's Cult, I watched that one, 6%. The Truth About Jim Jones, 29%. Casey Anthony's Parents, 29% of the votes. And the winner is The Program, Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping with 35% of the votes. So there you go. That's our true crime poll question of the day. We're about ready to get out of here. I am. I don't know about you. We're about ready to get out of here. Oh, yeah. We hope you enjoyed the show today. And we thank everybody that was in the poll question and watched all morning on this YouTube page. 50,000 of you on Shoutcast, Shout It Out Loud, over the RyanORadio media page, Earth Rock Radio, and in Canada as well as on British Columbia Isles in Canada area. We appreciate all of you worldwide listening, morning, noon, night, evening, whatever. We appreciate each and every one of you being a part of it. Captain Hot Buns. At least I caught the end of the show. Captain Hot Buns. That's right. Coming up next week, Sally Toole will join us on Wednesday instead of today. She had a conflict in her schedule, so we said, hey, just come on next Wednesday. We'll be good. You can leave work now, yeah. Tell them you're going to leave work early tomorrow to go to Krispy Kreme to get that Total Eclipse of the Sun donut with Krispy Kreme donut, then chocolate on frosted on top of it, sprinkles, and an Oreo cookie, buttercream Oreo cookie. That's going to be tomorrow. Ooh. And if you go to this one more time, text 251-251 Eclipse to that, and you'll get a BOGO for Monday at Burger King. Them hamburgers are already $12 a burger. 15 in California, 25 in Canada. Buy one, get one free. There you go. Oh, I wonder how much that one little donut, Total Eclipse of the Sun donut, Total Eclipse donut's going to cost everybody. All right. Well, and we'll be back tomorrow for the Friday show and get ready for next week. We got a lot of great guests. On Friday next week, Jim Gossett, comedian extraordinaire, will join the show in the second period. Also, next Thursday, we'll have Elizabeth Sorrells after the birthday bash, book about her brother's unsolved homicide, next Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour, in the final hour. Also, next Thursday in the final hour, we'll have Sally Toole with us. She'll join us. She's traveling around the state. Our traveler blogger will be with us on Wednesday of next week. On Tuesday, we'll have Shane B and I talk movies, what's hot, what's not, and more. And Richard Holdridge's return from the sports beat in the second period. And Monday will be Coach Tommy Lewis from Landmark Christian, the War Eagles. Don't have a Krispy Kreme close enough to me. Dadgum. Well, do the BOGO thing for Monday. Get that Burger King. All that's coming up next week. And with that being said and done, I got to get out of here. I can't believe it's already that time. I can't believe I'm getting ready to get off the air. It's just sad. Sad. I know you guys want me on all day. My feed wouldn't last all day. It only lasts 3 hours at a time. My recorded feed to go onto the Spreaker that puts me on all over the internet, iHeartRadio and everywhere. It only lasts 3 hours at a time. Yeah. All right, let's see. I think we got everything out of the way. In 1 week, Wendy's will have Dave hamburgers for $1. Woo! You go get a bunch of those hamburgers. Just go buy a bag of those hamburgers and share them with all of us. Make sure you get mine with no onions. All right. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace, love, respect. I'm out of here. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. And we'll see you again on Friday. It's the WrestleMania Friday show. We'll have more than WrestleMania news. Don't worry. We'll have more than wrestling news tomorrow, but I'm just calling it the WrestleMania show. No, it starts Monday. But you can go on the BurgerKing.com to see if it lets you go even earlier. But it's supposed to start Monday for the total Eclipse for the buy one, get one free. But we'll see you guys on the flip side tomorrow, Friday edition, the WrestleMania. Like I said, it won't be all about wrestling, but it's the WrestleMania show. We'll see ya. All right, guys. You can check BK, but it's going to run through the 15th. So they're giving you that deal. All right. We appreciate all of you. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Barstool, it passed. Okay, cool. We'll see you guys.